Live from Toyota Center in downtown Houston, AT&T Sportsnet proudly presents Houston Rockets basketball. And tonight the Rockets take on the San Antonio Spurs. Hi everybody, I'm Bill Worrell along with Matt Bullard. Good to have you for another preseason game. The Rockets have been halfway around the world playing these practice games. First they were in Hawaii to take on the Clippers. Then they played a couple of games with Toronto in Japan, and now it's back to Houston. They've got two more preseason games, and we've gotten a good chance now to see the starting backcourt in action. They played together twice.
Yeah, James Harden and Russell Westbrook. These two guys are both MVPs in the NBA, and they both have played together in Oklahoma City. In fact, they played in 2012 in the NBA Finals, and then they played in 2012 in the summer on the Olympic team together. They go way, way back. They're good friends since they were little boys growing up in LA, and both of these guys are super excited to be playing alongside each other. It's going to be very interesting to see how James Harden, who was the leading scorer in the NBA last year with 36 points a game, and Russell Westbrook, who has averaged a triple-double the last 3 seasons, how they can put it together. But both guys are very confident that they can do it.
Yeah, James was smiling at me when he said, I know exactly where he's going to go on the court, and vice versa. So that's really worked out very well. Now the problem for the Rockets, they got some bad news a couple of days ago. Gerald Green may be out for the entire season. So where do those minutes go when Gerald Green comes up and puts up a lot of points?
Yeah, well, the Rockets have signed some new players that are going to have a chance. Ben McLemore played in Sacramento the last few years. He was a number 7 pick in the NBA draft. He shoots 37% from the NBA, from the three-point line. Tavo Cephalosha is another guy who has been signed. He's a veteran, been around a long time. In fact, he played with James and Russ in Oklahoma City. He was in Utah last year. He's a 40% three-point shooter. You've got Gary Clark, who played 51 games as a rookie last year for the Rockets. The Rockets are expecting him to take another step forward. And you've got the rookie, Chris Clemens, who is very much like the great Calvin Murphy, the way he plays. He's 5'9", but he is a scorer, and so all 4 of those guys will have a chance.
Coming up, we're going to take a look at the tough Western Conference. Then we'll have the opening tips, so don't go away. Hi again, everybody. Welcome back to Toyota Center. We talked about it in the break about how tough the Western Conference is going to be. The Wild, Wild West this season with 12, 13 teams. And Matt, these are the new additions for every one of the teams in the West.
Yeah, you can see Russell Westbrook added to the Houston Rockets. Obviously, we all know about that. But the LA Clippers have added Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, although Paul George will not be playing until sometime in November after shoulder surgery. The Lakers have added Anthony Davis and Danny Green to join up with LeBron. And the Utah Jazz have added the great point guard Mike Conley and a great veteran Jeff Green to join Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. So Utah Jazz have gotten a lot better. Jeremy Grant joins the Denver Nuggets. Pau Gasol and Hassan Whiteside are 2 big guys that join the great backcourt there in Portland of Damian Lillard and C.J. McConnell. And then D'Angelo Russell joined Golden State Warriors. They're going to be very good when Klay Thompson comes back from the knee injury. And then New Orleans Pelicans, don't sleep on them. Zion Williamson, one of the greatest rookies that you will ever see, is coming into the NBA, and he joins a lot of former Lakers there in New Orleans.
And you haven't mentioned San Antonio. We'll talk more about that in just a moment when we come back for the opening tip. Rockets basketball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Memorial Hermann Ironman Sports Medicine Institute, bringing elite care to all athletes. Hi again, everybody, and welcome back to Toyota Center as we play another preseason game. We've got one more left after this one against Miami, but tonight it's Houston going against San Antonio. Let's set the starting lineups for tonight's game for you. DeJounte Murray, Bryn Forbes, LaMarcus Aldridge, Derek White, and Trey Lyles. A very young San Antonio team, and of course Pop did not bring Rudy Gay or DeMar DeRozan to the game tonight. James Harden and Russell Westbrook in the backcourt, Capella, Tucker, and Daniel House for Mike D'Antoni. So it's good to see Westbrook back out on the court today. He had a 50,000-mile checkup on his knees in the summertime, and they wanted to check him out. They did a little scope on him, and they were very cautious with bringing him back.
Yeah, a lot of NBA players nowadays have those clean-out type procedures, and the Rockets are just easing him back into the season because they know these preseason games don't really matter. It matters how you play in April, May, and June.
It's time for the Toyota keys to the game.
Well, the biggest key is getting James and Russ together on the same page and get them in rhythm, and of course they're going to be playing together to start the games, and then there'll always be at least one of them along with Eric Gordon on the floor, so that'll be important for them to figure that out. The bench opportunities, which we talked a little bit about with Gerald Green being injured, a bunch of guys on this roster now have a chance to carve out some playing time, and then the threes are going to be important in this game. The San Antonio Spurs here in the preseason bill have taken 55 threes total. The Rockets average 58 threes a game.
That's right. A little different style of play with the two coaches. We'll get into that in a moment. We talked about the different uniforms for the Rockets this season, and the first time I've seen them in the white. The lettering is much bolder on the Rockets now, and they look pretty good. Marcus Aldridge with a miss. 13 years, heading into his 14th season as an NBA veteran. Capella was fouled.
Did you notice that James Harden got the rebound and he outletted it ahead to Russell Westbrook? And I think that's one of the things that the Rockets are really going to try to do is let Russell use his speed to attack in transition. And then on that play, he was able to lob it up to Capella, who got fouled.
Yeah, I look for Capella now. I hope he can improve his free throw shooting a little bit this season because I got to figure with him running the court, he's going to get to the free throw line a lot more this year. What? That's that jersey we were talking about. How do you like it?
They look sharp, and we'll talk about all the different uniforms throughout the season. But there is a old school ketchup and mustard uniform that I'm excited about as well.
Yeah, they got that anniversary coming up on those old uniforms that you won the first championship in. And the shot is up and good by DeJounte Murray, who missed the entire season last year, recovering from a ligament tear in his knee. And he was going to be a starter last season, so San Antonio missed that, and a turnover called on Westbrook.
Westbrook just shuffled his feet a little bit before he drove, and that's going to be a point of emphasis this season in the NBA is making sure that players don't travel when they catch the ball there on the perimeter.
Kevin Scott, Derek Richardson, and Brett Nouzle will be the officials for tonight's game. Ball goes up and stays out. James number 2 in scoring in the preseason as he's usually up there. And a foul called on Russell.
Russell with the playoff style foul here in the preseason. Not giving up any layups here in Toyota Center as the Spurs pass the ball ahead, and watch Russ come in there and just hammer Walker.
I didn't see much there. Lonnie Walker, good athlete out of Miami in his second NBA campaign.
Was not shooting that?
Well, that's what Pop's asking too. I guess he was under the basket when he got fouled. Maybe he was trying to pass the ball. Good.
You see one of those mid-range jumpers there for the Spurs. Murray passed up the 3 and dribbled into the mid-range to shoot the 2. That's the difference in styles between the Rockets and the Spurs.
Well, DeMar DeRozan is a real good two-point shooter. Doesn't shoot the 3 very often. So they're kind of going to fit into that. Good tip outside, and Russell gets it down in a hurry. He's got 3 Spurs back. That's what they do better than anybody in the league. Transition defense. Daniel House to the basket.
And House gets the start here tonight to kind of get a feel for how he would look with the starters and bring Eric Gordon off the bench. This is when you try different things. But Daniel House is going to be very important for the Rockets this season.
Nice pass inside and a foul on the play. Trey Lyles hit on the back of the head.
Take a look at House as he fakes the 3 and they close out on him. Then he knows he's got plenty of room to drive in there. And the Rockets, with lots of space in their offense, are looking for plays like that.
You think on the scouting report it said 58 trays a game?
It sure did. I guarantee you Greg Popovich talked to his team before the game and said, we're going to run them off of the 3-point line. You can see Pop doing a little coaching right there. He's got a very young team. In his 24th season, he's kind of reloading the roster a little bit.
Yeah, he is. Trey Lyles is one of those players he's reloading with. Remember, he was a great college player at Kentucky. And came out of the league. And Coach Timmy is on the bench for San Antonio.
Tim Duncan in a suit coat, but no tie.
Yeah, they don't wear ties on the islands. Russell, he can operate in that zone pretty well too.
Yeah, he's going to have lots of space to operate this season, which is going to be a lot different for him than the way it's been in OKC over the last several years.
Back outside to Walker again, and he hits.
Corner 3 is the most important shot in the NBA right now. There's another one right there from Daniel House.
Right on target. Eric Gordon will be getting maybe the night off. I don't know if he's going. Is he going to play?
No, I think he's going to play. I think they're going to bring him in off the bench and sort of just see how that looks. Having him come in as a reserve.
Aldridge has been doing that his entire career. A little turnaround jump shot. Good hustle to get back by Walker. Walker's a good athlete. They've got some good athletes at that guard position, and Bryn puts it up and in. Nobody guarding Bryn Forbes, who is a terrific young athlete. He's in his 4th year out of Michigan State. He had a good season last year. San Antonio's 0-3 on the preseason. Pop doesn't put a lot of stock in that. James puts it up and out. The Rockets, on the other hand, are 3-1.
Well, you can see the Spurs doing a good job of getting rebounds and loose balls and running. So Pop is turning this young team loose and telling them to play a little faster.
7-0 run by San Antonio as Harden walks it in.
It's a little floater that James has been adding to his game throughout the years.
Harden scored 30 or more points 57 times last year. He had 40 or more 28 times and 50 or more 9 times.
Is that good? That seems good. And the way he does it is he gets around that pick and roll and just reads the defense. You can see LaMarcus Aldridge was kind of caught there, didn't know whether to guard James or stay with Capella, so James just drops a little floater in over the top.
That's the conundrum you have when you play Houston.
Yeah, how do you manage those conundrums?
It's very difficult. Confusing.
Befuddling.
Yes. From the outside, a miss by DeJounte Murray.
Those are the kinds of shots that the Rockets defense wants other teams to take. Guarded 2-point shots.
Harden off the back of the iron, shot it too hard. Look at House track it down. Rockets are pretty good at that, and Harden steps it right to the bucket.
And he went through a little contact there too. He was looking at the official after he laid it in, looking for the and one.
I got to get with Harden on coordinating his uniform.
The shoes don't match?
Well, not unless there's some color problems with my television monitor. I like those.
They look good with your blue blazer.
Offensive foul called on Westbrook. So we have a timeout on the court. Daniel House says, don't give me much room. I can hit that 3. Spurs up by 4 points. Opening night for the Houston Rockets next Thursday when the Milwaukee Bucks visit Toyota Center. You want to get here early, as the first 3,000 fans will receive a commemorative opening night coin presented by Toyota. We'll also have our Budweiser live party outside the main entrance starting at 4:30. Grab your tickets today at Rockets.com before it's too late. And we'll have 3 MVPs on the court for opening night. Of course, Antetokounmpo won the MVP last season. Harden won it the year before, and the year before that, Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Russell Westbrook just picked up his 3rd foul in the first 6 minutes of the game, so he had to take a seat. Eric Gordon checks in along with Thabo Sefolosha.
Well, it is preseason. Russell, they want to get a little rest tonight.
Little veteran move there to limit the preseason minutes.
Bryn Forbes, he had 59 double digits performances last season. That was most of any player undrafted. No whistle. Here come the Spurs, a little behind the back. And good transition defense by Houston. Ooh, that was an ugly shot by Damari Carroll. Just bogards his way right in there.
Yeah, he's so strong, and that's what everybody talks about when you're trying to guard James Harden, just how strong he is.
He'd have been a heck of a running back.
Would have been Earl Campbell-like, wouldn't he?
Well, not quite that big, but... Here goes Aldridge, who has a bunch of moves in that paint, and he's got such a sweet touch for a 6'11 player.
Yeah, and his release is so high, it's impossible to block that shot. He's been shooting that jumper over centers and anyone else trying to guard him for years.
Came out of the University of Texas, went straight to Portland, and he had some big games for the Trailblazers against the Rockets. He was a demon in the playoffs. He always averaged twice as many points in the playoffs as he did in the regular season. That's a sign of a great player.
Yeah, no doubt. He was amazing against the Rockets when he was in the court.
And he got back on defense. He said, I might be 33 years old, but I can still get back on the court.
Is 33 years old, is that old?
Not for me.
It's getting there for NBA players. Man, how about that putback right there?
Lonnie Walker. Lonnie's 6'5". Plays a little bigger than that. Good pass by Capella.
Take a look at Walker and Aldridge on this miss there by White. Rockets got to box out. That was actually Aldridge, and then Walker with a little help, but defensive rebounding for the Rockets was a weakness last year, and so that's one area that they need to improve.
Pop says the one thing he's got to be cautious with Aldridge is as the season goes on, he's got to watch his minutes. You don't want to wear him down, but he still is very effective.
Take a look at the free throws made last year. Look at how many more James Harden made than the other best players in the NBA.
Those are made.
Incredible, isn't it?
His numbers are down in the preseason in terms of free throw shooting. It's only 76%. He's usually right up around 90%. And that's going to be an offensive foul.
Damari Carroll with the push-off there on Thabo Sefolosha. Thabo very excited to be here in Houston. He spent the last few years in Utah, but he is excited to be here back with Russ and James. He played with them in OKC, and he's an excellent three-point shooter along with a good defender.
He'll be one of those candidates to replace the minutes Gerald Green had. Too bad about Gerald having that type of injury on the foot. Could be out the whole year. And the Rockets' the middle defense is pretty porous here tonight. Austin Rivers, that came out of his hand wrong.
Yeah, another corner three, and Austin has been working on his three-point shot. Good hustle there by Austin to get back on defense.
Yeah, Pirtle knocked it out of bounds. Jacob Pirtle.
But Austin signed here with Houston, re-signed this summer. He's excited to be with the Rockets. He loves it here in Houston. He loves the fans. He loves the team. And he knows that he's going to get a lot of open threes, so he's been working on the three-point shot all summer.
A lot of depth all down the bench. Now, even with the injury to Gerald Green, Mike D'Antoni said, I'm going to play 10 players this year. Now he's down to 9. There's a miss. Good offensive rebound by Cephalosha. Ryan Anderson trying to set that pick outside. Now they'll just let him isolate Harden from the parking lot.
See how the Spurs switched that, and so their center, Pirtle, was on Harden. Harden settled for the 3 instead of going by him.
I guess in a preseason game, you're not going to go by guys very much. No sense getting roughed up a little bit, but the defense by Houston, not very good. The Spurs on 11-3 run.
Ooh. Foul, no call.
Good hustle on the court. Got an old veteran, Patty Mills, with the basketball. So let's watch James Harden go to work. Averaged 40 points over a 40-game span last year.
I mean, it was surprising, but obviously was aware of it. But I was just trying to figure out the best situation for myself and my family, and kind of where my career would take me at this point. And once I decided to make the move and decided that leaving Oklahoma City was the best decision for me at the time, Houston was my first option and my first priority, and something that I wanted to get done.
Well, that shocked a lot of people, of course, when Paul George went to the Clippers, and that came kind of late in the process. And Russell had to scramble, but he knew a good friend in Houston.
Yeah, he did. And interestingly enough, Russell had just built a brand new house in Oklahoma City, and then he ends up moving here to Houston. Much better decision for him for his basketball career, I'm sure.
So DeMarie Carroll threw it to the official, who cannot shoot. So he will not get an assist, but he will get a turnover.
Most officials can't shoot. That's why they're officials.
Good point. Inside, Eric thought he got fouled. Patty Mills, who's played 10 seasons in the NBA. This will be number 11, and he can still get up the court as fast as anybody. A 13-3 run by San Antonio. Russell playing with 3 fouls now, and Patty Mills called for the foul.
Yeah, you mentioned Patty Mills playing for 10 years, but he has not slowed down a bit. Look at him, defensive pressure all over Russell Westbrook, and then he bumps him there with the chest as Russ is trying to go around that screen. There's where the foul was. A lot of threes made in Patty Mills' career.
Yes, indeed, and he really became a good player when he got to San Antonio.
A lot of threes made by Eric Gordon here.
That is so easy, isn't it?
And that was deep, too. That was about 5 feet behind the line, and that's what Eric can do. He's got great range.
Nice shot inside. Derek White. Boy, they got some athletes. They got some guards, don't they? Ryan Anderson.
And you see Ryan back with the Rockets. He has been playing the center position all preseason, sort of the stretch 5, and I think that position fits him well.
Well, you got Tyson Chandler, who can come in and play if you want some big guys in the middle, but Ryan Anderson can stretch that court.
Yes. Capella and Tyson Chandler are very similar in that they play above the rim and are lob threats. Ryan Anderson is a pick and pop type threat where he can shoot threes. Remember, he was with the Phoenix Suns the last few years.
Yeah.
Playing in Western Conference purgatory, so I'm sure he's happy to be back here in Houston, where he kept his house. So good for Ryan to be back here with the Rockets.
Phoenix about the only team not mentioned in the Wild Wild West. You know, you didn't mention San Antonio, of course, which for the last 22 years has been mentioned anytime you talk about winning the Western Conference Championship. Since that man's been there, this is the 24th year for Greg Popovich, and he's won 4 NBA championships. He's a winningest coach active.
Yeah, I'm sure Popovich is happy to be considered an underdog this season.
And you know, Becky Harmon has moved now into Hammond, has moved next to Pop. She used to be on the back row there several years ago, first female to come into the league as an assistant coach. And now all of his coaches are all around the league, as well as general managers. So Becky Hammond's done a great job.
Becky Hammond was a tremendous WNBA player, a point guard, and then she's been a great coach for the Spurs. And like you say, she just keeps moving up. Tim Duncan has been hired, and he's on the bench as well. So Popovich continues to send coaches around the league and then replace them with excellent coaches.
The quiet leader, Coach Timmy.
You think the players listen to him?
You kidding? Be a fool not to. More about the NBA life than about basketball. There's a good move. Derek White. Derek White is a youngster out of Colorado in his 3rd season.
It's a 3 there by Westbrook, and Westbrook is only a 30% three-point shooter. The Rockets still want him to take those open threes, but he's definitely going to need to improve his percentage.
San Antonio going to work that clock down as White takes it to the free throw line. Pirtle couldn't handle the pass. Oh, the old veteran. Marco Bellinelli in his 13th season out of Italy. And he can make that shot a lot. And a miss from the corner, so you can tell the Rockets are treating this like a preseason game. Defense not very good for Houston in the first quarter, giving up 36 points to the Spurs.
Welcome back to Houston, the start of the second quarter where the Spurs lead 36-22. The Houston Rockets' second annual Toyota Drive Up Car Decal Giveaway is next Tuesday, October 22nd. Drive up to the arena as part of your morning commute from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. and receive a free Rockets car decal courtesy of Toyota. The event will feature the Clutch City Dancers, Clutch, select Rockets legends, giveaways, and more. Come on out to Toyota Center on October 22nd to show your Rocket support with a new car decal.
Big first quarter for San Antonio. After hitting 5 of 10 shots to start the game, the Rockets made just 3 of their next 13. And Pirtle gets an easy layup.
Nice play out of the timeout there from Popovich, getting a layup for his big man.
Pirtle's a youngster who went to the University of Utah. And Eric Gordon is always shooting the rock. I don't care whether it's preseason or regular season or whenever.
And Mike D'Antoni said that even if Eric Gordon does not start on this team, he's still going to be playing the same amount of minutes, and he's still going to finish the game for the Rockets. The Spurs continue to knock down threes. They must have been watching my keys too.
Yeah, they did. They heard your keys that they don't shoot a lot of them.
They're shooting them tonight.
Well, I expected DeJounte Murray, as we're going to take a look at this play now and the foul on Murray. But when you've got guards like Murray was going to be a starter last year, and that's what really hurt San Antonio to start the season. But he had to sit out with that knee injury the whole year. Now he's back. You can see that he's very athletic. He's 6'5". He can slither to the basket, got good speed, also can shoot from the outside. And when you put him back there with Derek White, and they're back. Bryn Forbes is a heck of an athlete. You just never can count San Antonio out. When you talk about playoff teams, how many wins do you figure the head coach gets you?
Yeah, I don't know. Good coaching makes a big difference, so that's for sure. Popovich is among the all-time greats.
Of course, our guy's pretty good too, Mike D'Antoni.
Now you mentioned that the Spurs have won, what, 5 championships? As Pirtle goes in and gets fouled. The only thing that Mike D'Antoni and James Harden and Russell Westbrook have not won is a championship. So that's what their goal is this season. You can see D'Antoni there with his coaches.
Elston Turner.
Elston Turner's back. Good to see him back with the Rockets. And Brett Gunning is on the other side. And, of course, John Lucas behind them. John does a great job developing players. They all have one goal this season, one mission, to win a championship.
Of course, Mike is...
It'd be nice if they buy a tie like Coach Brazzi there, but I guess ties are out of fashion, huh?
Well, they are, except in our job. Or I forget mine sometimes and have to put the microphone up there so you can't see it. I never wear one in the summer. Eric Gordon dribbles all the way inside the paint.
It's hard to swing that golf club when you're wearing a tie.
Well, it is. You can't do it. I don't know how they did it in the old days with those niblets. Eric Gordon can also go to the basket. That's what makes him one of the outstanding signings by Houston, to keep him around for another 3 or 4 years. There's Murray with a miss, and look at Westbrook. Westbrook all the way to the basket, knocked out of bounds. He led the NBA in assists for the 2nd straight season, and also in triple doubles. When he won the MVP in 2017, Westbrook had 34 triple doubles.
Good inbounds play there for Austin Rivers, who was ready to knock down that 3.
And Pop calls the timeout. So the Rockets picking up the tempo just a little.
Game by game is going to be different. Like, he's so great to where he can go off for 30 and 40 or 50 points, and I can sit back and just be excited for him and be that cheerleader. Or, you know, we got a group of guys that are anybody is capable of going off and having one of those big nights, and I can sit back and just be happy and excited for those guys, you know. And that's what we were missing, and that's what I'm most excited about.
Yeah, I think Harden makes a good point right there. Is when you have 2 guys that are MVP caliber, then James doesn't have to carry the load for 82 games. He can allow Russell Westbrook to play the way he plays and just sit back and let Russ carry the load for a while.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. And, of course, I like to see them on the court together because there's such a mutual admiration society, and that's traveling called on Forbes. But they really know each other's game very well. I noticed that they both said, too, we're just going to have to work together some more, too, because we haven't played together a lot.
And you notice right now that Russ is on the floor and James is not. So the Rockets are always going to have an MVP on the floor at all times.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Shot from the outside short. Eric Gordon. Every season he comes back, Matt, he backs up just a little bit more. I mean, he shot that from the parking lot. Huh?
Man, good to have him signed for another 4 years. That means that the Rockets' championship window is open for 4 years. You've got James, Russ, and Eric Gordon all signed for 4 years. Clint Capella is also part of that core group. P.J. Tucker. It's going to be a lot of fun.
10-2 run by Houston. Good defense on the inside, knocked out of bounds.
And here's Eric Gordon in transition.
Now watch where he stops.
Stop and pop. Now there's no one in there running for the layup. Look, there's no one running for the layup. Eric just stops at about 30 feet and drains it. I mean, that is the ultimate green light there.
Oh, man, how are you going to come out on that? Turtle with a nice move inside. He's a 7-footer. That stops the Houston run. Look at Westbrook. Whoa, he just put it in superstar gear. They're 4 gears, and he's got superstar gear.
He sure does, and he's got plenty of space to put that gear into motion this season.
That's what I always think about the superstars. Come playoff time, they've got a gear nobody else has, especially in fourth quarters of games. Nice touch.
Yeah, Bryn Forbes having a good game. That was good defense by the Rockets. They switched that twice, and then Bryn Forbes still able to get a shot off.
Westbrook, He's fouled. He'll get 2 shots.
And there's a mid-range jumper right there from Westbrook. And those are the types of shots that he's been taking a lot of throughout his career that the Rockets are going to try to minimize and get him a little bit more efficient.
He's not, percentage-wise, a great three-point shooter. The 18th annual Rockets Run, presented by Children's Memorial Hermann, heads to Allen Parkway in Sam Houston Park on Sunday, November 17th. Go to Rockets.com to register, you and your family, for the 5K, Kids 1K, or 2-mile walk. All participants get a T-shirt, an invitation to the post-race party, and a ticket to an upcoming Rockets game.
Bill, how many years in a row have you run that 5K in the Rockets Run?
In my dreams?
Yes.
Yeah, a long time.
Every year, right?
Every year, yes. I don't even dream about that.
Well, I know Clyde's going to be running, so that'll be good.
Well, yeah, he runs Memorial Park a lot.
He just kind of glides through Memorial Park.
That's the glide. Problem is, 1 step for him is 2 steps for me, so I have to run twice as far.
So he's really only running a 2.5K?
That's it. Another good touch. Ball knocked away from Eric. Hurdle with a nice quick move and then tipped it in. Drop off to Capella. Eric Gordon in and out, even when he misses. Looks like it's going in. Murray, nice move at the elbow. Capella made him change the shot. Here's Harden in the open court to the basket. How did he get that shot up there? He was surrounded by San Antonio Spurs, and Popovich calls a timeout. So the Rockets lead it by 9 points. Let's send it to Kevin Eschenfelder in the Rooms to Go Lounge. Spurs up 51-40 over the Houston Rockets, and Eric Gordon came off that bench firing.
Yeah, he really did. He did not get the start tonight. Mike D'Antoni is taking a look at starting Daniel House, but Eric Gordon comes in and just starts draining threes way behind the three-point line. Look at this move right here going by Pirtle. Eric Gordon was signed this summer to a 4-year extension, and the Rockets are very excited that he re-signed and decided to stay here. And look at those numbers already, 11 points, 3 made threes.
I tell you, he played great defense, you know, in the playoffs against Utah, shut Mitchell down when he had to. He's also great at going to the basket as well as shooting from the outside. He just, so many places you can play him. Always in great shape. Good defense there by James. Rockets shooting 44% from the field, 35% from three-point land. James uses that pickup high, and the shot clock down to 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's a new play that the Rockets have put in, clearing the entire side of the floor for James Harden on a rescreen, and then Harden not able to get all the way to the rim and kind of got caught up in where all the traffic was. Might need to work on that play a little bit more in practice tomorrow.
Practice?
Practice? Talking practice?
Harden. House to the middle.
Oh, watch it.
Contact. And he will go to the free throw line to shoot a couple.
Daniel House gets the start tonight. As you can see him driving in, he takes some contact there, and a really awkward fall for him. And you really don't want to fall like that in the preseason. And Daniel House is a tough guy, Houstonian, so he's very excited to be here playing for the Rockets.
Yeah, his house is next to his big brother's house, Gerald Green.
Yep, the greenhouse effect.
And he was really upset, I think, more than anybody when Gerald is going to be out for the season, but he'll still be around the clubhouse, locker room.
This is where the Rockets want to push right here. Get a rebound and run.
Or shoot. James a little off tonight. He's 0 for 4 from the three-point line. Walker back into the game now, giving it up. Forbes again from the outside, never came out of his hand right. And Capella with the rebound. Murray right up on Harden. Harden takes him to school and missed the shot.
Ooh, little words from Murray back there at Harden when Murray got the rebound.
Now Murray flies to the basket, so he got him at both ends.
Well, you know Murray's excited to be playing this year. After having to sit out all last year, I'm sure he's got a lot of pent-up energy.
Yeah. He went down last season, what, about the third game?
Well, it was against the Rockets, and I think it might have been preseason.
Yeah, it was preseason.
And it really was heartbreaking when I saw him. When I saw when he went down, oh no, that's going to be bad, and it was. ACL tear. Good to see him back.
And there's the old man, Marcus Aldridge.
I think he's done that about 10 million times in his career.
At least. It's hard to block that shot when you get the ball up over your head. You're 6'11". Can't block him. Shot from the corner won't go. So PJ has only taken 3 shots. He's still looking for points. Forbes gets it over to LaMarcus Aldridge again. Aldridge with a size advantage over House. House with the foul.
You can see the way the Rockets play defense, they switch everything. So everybody has to be able to guard every other player on the floor, and House got switched off onto LaMarcus Aldridge.
That's a tough assignment. Ben McLemore has been in the game for a while now, but he hasn't touched the ball. Rockets continue to experiment, see who will take up those Gerald Green minutes. And there's Murray again. Alley-oop inside.
Yep, Ben McLemore. He's kind of been under the radar in Sacramento the last few years, but he's a very good player.
He wasn't under the radar on that one.
He was above the rim there, and he's got a great chance now to carve out some playing time with the Rockets. And he's an excellent three-point shooter, and I know he's excited to have the opportunity.
Has always been known as one of the more athletic players in the league. Little step back by Aldridge. Got a myriad of moves. 3:20 left. He's got a lot of them, yeah. At least I didn't use that plethora.
What is a plethora?
Well, that's the number of threes that he makes every game. Harden now with 15 points. 11 for Eric Gordon off the bench. Rockets in double figures. 15 points for Murray. And Walker with the miss. Harden steps back and fires, falls down, hits it anyway.
And that was well defended too.
Yeah, Walker was all over him. Rockets on an 8-2 run.
I was getting a little worried that those blue shoes were throwing James Harden's three-point shot off, but I guess not.
Murray gets it back outside. Whoops. Oh, I can't get the ball in the corner, and PJ scared him to death. Kick the ball.
Let's go back and take a look at the great pass from James Harden over the top to Ben McLemore, who hangs in the air to catch it and throw it down. Great pass. Even better finish. And then here's Harden stopping and shooting it in front of Walker, who was all over him. The blue suede shoes are not affecting him, Bill.
Elvis. Actually, he didn't do blue suede shoes originally.
Who was it? Oh, what's his name? We'll Google it.
Sun Records.
Sun Records. Getting closer. We're getting warm.
Carl Perkins.
Ooh, nice. Well, the Wayback Machine for that name.
Yeah, Carl Perkins was good. They had 4 pretty good guys in that studio back then. Elvis Perkins, a guy by the name of John Cash.
Oh, heard of him.
Yeah.
2 seconds in the quarter, 2 minutes.
10-point game. Harden again to the middle, and he sets up his old buddy Westbrook with a miss. Walker to LaMarcus Aldridge. Man,
Unstoppable.
it is.
Remember when he put 45 points on us when he was playing for the Portland Trail Blazers in the playoffs?
I did the game.
Back-to-back nights.
Yeah. He had 45 one game and 47 the next.
He's good.
You know, you talk about those iconic moves like Harden has. Well, that, you know, Aldridge has got that little 1-foot shot that he shoots.
Yep.
1:05 left to play. Pass, turnover, Houston.
Well, you can see the Rockets are not fully ready for the regular season yet. Rebound and outlet's got to be one of those basic plays you make every time.
Could be having a little jet lag, too.
Good point.
That's a long trip they took.
Coming back from Japan to the United States is the harder way to go. It's harder to get used to the time change.
P.J. Tucker. Shot clock at 9 seconds. Still plenty of time for Harden. In the corner to P.J. Missed it. Good ball movement.
Yeah, good pass from Russ to get it to the corner. That's P.J.'s shot.
San Antonio now basically can go for the final shot of the first half. About a 2-second difference, shot clock, game clock. Nice move inside. Derek White. 3 seconds, down to 2. Harden with a miss. So the San Antonio Spurs shoot 62% from the field, 50% from the three-point line, and the Spurs lead it at halftime, 65-51. Stay tuned for Rockets halftime, presented by Toyota. Don't go away. Well, jet lag coming back from Tokyo, but the defense is not quite as good. They're giving up 62% from the field to the Spurs, and the points in the paint, the Spurs are almost doubling up the Rockets. So, Matt, I always thought that when you came back from an overseas trip in the preseason, it took about a week to 10 days to get your land legs back.
Yeah, everybody knows that now that a lot of teams are starting to travel around the world in the preseason, everybody knows that they've got the jet lag to deal with. I'm sure Mike D'Antoni's not too worried about the jet lag, but he is probably worried about the defense in the paint, as the Spurs shot 76% on shots in the paint.
Yes, they really did. As we take a look at the scores now, Harden with 18, Eric Gordon with 11. Westbrook had 7, but he got 3 fouls in the first 2 minutes of the game. DeJounte Murray has looked awfully good for San Antonio with 15 points and a couple of assists.
Yeah, I bet you Greg Popovich and the Spurs are very excited to see how DeJounte Murray is playing here to start this season.
Well, he's a big part of the puzzle, and if they don't have any injuries, remember DeMar DeRozan not playing tonight, and Rudy Gay, who will come off the bench as your 6th or 7th man, is not playing tonight either. But San Antonio's hoping that with the addition of DeJounte Murray and already the good athletes they have, that they can be up in the upper 40s with wins, but I don't know if that's good enough to get in. Harden from the front row. Somebody had left their seat, and he just went and shot from there. Man.
Rockets really spread the floor with deep three-point shooting.
Yeah, I think Harden and Gordon have actually stepped back in the practice this summer. Good defense now by Houston. Oh, man, Murray doesn't care, does he?
Yeah, and he had Capella on him, and Capella was not ready to defend that three-point shot. Murray had to shoot it because the clock was running down. Capella needed to know that.
Westbrook, tough pass inside. Capella running down the baseline. Had he caught the ball, he would not have been in good position underneath the basket.
Yeah, and it looked like Capella was looking for a lob. So that's where Russ and Clint can get together here in the preseason and make some mistakes and then learn from those, so that next time maybe Capella would just throw it, or Russ will just throw it up at the rim there for Capella.
Yeah, that's a good point. Russ out on Murray now, contesting that shot a little bit more, and there was great defense and a late whistle called on Westbrook.
Foul is on 0. Russell Westbrook is 4th.
That's number 4 on Russell.
And you see, as Murray gets into the paint, all the Rockets leave and get out to the shooters, leaving Russ there one-on-one, and just a little bit too much contact with the hands.
That left hand down low probably was what
Murray.
drew the whistle.
And, you know, players like Westbrook and Harden, when they get fouls called on them like that, they tell the officials, I want that same call on the other end.
Yeah. Doesn't always work.
It never works. So frustrating.
Murray with the free throws, and he's still yakking about his hand. PJ wants to join the party.
The Spurs did a good job of shutting off Harden's drive, but if you commit to stopping Harden on the drive, then you leave three-point shooters open.
That was the first basket of the game for PJ Tucker. And a miss from the outside. House clears it out to Westbrook. Here he comes. And he had the ball deflected inside. Quickly back. Walker, and a foul on Harden.
They say that Harden hit him on the side of the head.
Second team foul.
James does not agree. I think maybe James might have gotten him on the hair, but maybe not on the head. The Houston Rockets regular season starts with 3 must-watch home games. First, next Thursday is opening night presented by Toyota. The Rockets will take on the Bucks, where the last 3 NBA MVPs will be on the same court. Then the Pelicans and rookie Zion Williamson come to town on Saturday, October 26th. And finally, Chris Paul comes back to Houston with the Thunder on the 28th. These will all be definite sellouts, so secure your tickets today, Rockets.com.
Well, you got that. How about those 3 games?
Great start for the Rockets.
Been watching Zion in his first couple of games, and he looks like he's moved right in. Very comfortable. Well, Capella couldn't catch the ball. He looks about a half step behind everybody else.
And that was the lob that Capella was asking for the previous play, and that time Russ threw it to him, and Capella wasn't ready. So I think you're right, Bill. I think Capella is struggling with a little jet lag and isn't 100% sharp here tonight. And going back to Zion Williamson, he should have been making about $10 or $15 million a year last year in the NBA. That one and done rule needs to go away because Zion Williamson was ready to play last year.
Aldridge doing what Aldridge does when he plays in this building. 18 points. Capella. Nice little fake. Walker puts it up, missed it. And it goes back to Aldridge. Fresh 14 seconds. Spurs working around. Three-pointer, good. And a timeout taken by Houston. The Spurs on a 10-3 run. Rockets basketball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Lexus. Experience amazing. And by Saltgrass Steakhouse, the best place for steaks, hands down. Welcome back to Houston for the final home preseason game. Rockets will play one more preseason game in Miami. And then they will be back and...
Hey, DeMar DeRozan.
Your favorite player.
Dr. Rosen said he was okay to play tonight, but he's just taking the night off.
Well, you got to give him a rest.
Had to get my Fletch references in early here tonight.
When was that movie made?
That was in the 80s. Just a few years ago.
I thought I'd lost a lot of viewers on the Johnny Cash, Carl Perkins deal, but Fletch may be right up there with me.
Chevy Chase and Fletch back in the 80s,
Yeah.
just about as far. 1985, I'm being told. What a great year.
I'd already done 5 years of NBA basketball.
It's all about ball bearings, Bill.
Oh, gosh. I shouldn't have mentioned it. I shouldn't have mentioned it. 18-point lead by San Antonio. Good effort now. The young Spurs are really playing some good defense and doing their best to stay on Harden and not fouling. That's another thing that Greg Popovich said last year. Don't foul Harden. That was one of his keys every time they played the Rockets. Easier said than done. Look at Aldridge.
He's putting in work. He's got 20 points in 19 minutes, 10 for 12 from the field. He has barely missed.
You know, the way he shoots in this building, the Rockets should have thought about getting him a long time ago. I mean, the guy just shoots lights out here.
Yeah, he's had an amazing career, and the fact that he's still doing it for the Spurs, very impressive. Him and Pop took him a little while to get on the same page, but they worked it out, and shows you what a great pro Aldridge is and what a great coach Pop is, and they've got a real nice team here this year.
Yeah, LaMarcus named to his 7th NBA All-Star game last year. PJ with a miss, gets it right back from Russell.
Spacing not good there. You see House and Harden, same spot.
They were in the I formation. And Harden is fouled 2, maybe 3.
So they gave the ball to the running back and just let him follow the fullback through the hole there.
That's exactly what happened.
Harden into the paint and
Little option.
and one there. That's what you're talking about when Popovich says don't foul Harden. You can't give him free throws after he scores.
Yeah, because we've seen him play so many times. Not only is he a prolific scorer from the outside, but he gets the free throw line. If he gets the free throw line 14, 15 times on you.
Well, you saw he averaged 36 points a game last year, which is the most points that's been scored since Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, I think, averaged that amount back in the 80s.
What a shot that time by Bryn Forbes, the young guard out of Michigan State.
Fouls on PJ. See PJ switching right there, and Forbes raising up, getting hit on the arm. Good finish there on the elbow jumper.
Yeah, Bryn Forbes led the team with 176 three-pointers last year. That's the 3rd most in Spurs history.
And you notice there he was undrafted. So the Spurs continue to find talent all around the world, not necessarily even through the draft.
Plus, he was durable, too. He played in all 82 regular season games. That's a nice switch. Let's watch this. Harden to the basket, foul.
And that's what you do when you have a big guy switched onto you and you're a guard like Harden. You go by him. You don't settle for the jumper. You force Aldridge to move his feet.
Make sure you're following AT&T Sportsnet on social media for game highlights, player interviews, and giveaways. Find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for the latest on the Rockets all season long.
Lots of good stuff there on AT&T Sportsnet Southwest.
All right, ready?
A lot of stuff to do here. Besides, watch the game. Those kids would rather play it than watch
Well,
it.
yeah, up on the top level, they've got the Children's Memorial Herman Sky Court, which has all sorts of games and activities for the kids. And it is a great place to come watch an NBA game and do other things.
Good defense by House.
There's all those games you can play, and lots of fun stuff for the kids. Bring your kids to the game and let them have a great night out. Remember that basketball, kids.
Not much touch needed there. Good defense on that possession as Derek White tried to get the jumper to go.
PJ should have shot that, but he hasn't made very many tonight.
He really doesn't look for his shot very often. He takes it in the flow.
Square foul, 18, Marco Bellinelli.
Bellinelli with the foul as he comes into the game. Now he's a veteran. He's been around a long time, so these preseason games, he's not going to care too much. He knows he's got this team made. Bellinelli's the type of guy, he does for San Antonio what Gerald Green did for Houston, and that's come off the bench, supply some offense, a little infusion of offense. Aldridge, anytime he wants it. Anytime he wants it. And he's fouled on the play.
The Rockets played real nice defense there, too. They got Trey Lyles shut off on the baseline. And then as the ball gets kicked back out to Aldridge, you see PJ bumps him right there and gets him on the arm. Man, Aldridge is having a great night tonight.
Aldridge actually bumped Tucker off to get the shot, which is an old veteran move.
Yep. He's been doing that forever.
Tonight he's played 21 minutes. He's 11 of 13 from the field. He's got 6 rebounds, 22 points, going for 23 here. Bellinelli knocks it away. Rockets and the Spurs. Remember when I first started doing Rockets games, one of the great playoffs in the history of the NBA. Rockets beat the Spurs. Calvin Murphy had that great game against George Gervin. So this rivalry goes way back.
Baseline bombs.
Yeah.
In San Antonio.
Old Hemisphere Arena.
That was one of the loudest places I've ever played.
Yeah, I think it only said about 8,000 people, but very tiny building. House for 2.
Daniel House with the Euro step.
Yeah, I've ever noticed whenever you give up a layup for San Antonio, pops off that bench with a timeout. He took one here. To Toyota Center, and just to refresh your memory, the Western Conference standings from last season.
And you see the Rockets right there in the 4th spot, tied with the Portland Trailblazers, and you can see how tight it was in those standings. One game makes a huge difference. Now, I think the Clippers, you got to figure they're going to move up in the standings. And the Blazers will be there. The Nuggets are going to be good again. Utah Jazz are going to be good. The Lakers have a chance to be good.
Lakers will move up.
So the Western Conference, I think, has 13 teams that have a legitimate chance of making the playoffs, the top 8. Mike D'Antoni obviously wants the Rockets to be one of those 8 teams and also have home court advantage.
Going to be tough. Going to be more games that really mean something.
There's going to be a lot of great games here in Toyota Center. You're going to want to get your tickets because every Western Conference game is going to be a great game.
Well, you're right. I mean, there's just not too many games you can take off.
And then you got the Eastern Conference. You got the defending champion Toronto Raptors are going to be good as Harden gets fouled. The Sixers, I think, are going to be better, and Milwaukee's going to be good, maybe a little bit better. And Boston has a chance to be good, but it's going to be a great NBA season.
I like the way Toronto looked against the Rockets in Tokyo.
Yeah.
I thought some of their young players now have a chance to come up.
Right. I mean, it's a huge loss to lose Kawhi Leonard.
Oh, yes.
But the Raptors are still a very good team with a great coach in Nick Nurse. And you see the active leaders in points all time. There's, hey, a couple guys playing for the Rockets. Is Vince Carter still playing? One more year for him.
Yes, indeed.
42 years old, is that right?
Yes.
Incredible.
Rockets now on an 8-2 run to kind of creep back in this game. DeMary Carroll trying to make the team inside to Pirtle. Boy, that's a real good weapon and a good young player. He's got a good outside touch too, but he really works that paint area a little stronger than he looks. Harden steps back for a three, got it. James Harden has hit 5 of his last 8 three-point attempts, and he has 33 points in 26 minutes. He's been averaging, what a shot. Bellinelli.
Right back at you.
Damari Carroll, good pickup by Harden, came out on defense. Harden's been averaging about 27 minutes in the preseason. P.J. Tucker throws it up. He's trying to draw some free throws. I think he came a little late.
Take a look as Harden drives in there. I think maybe White blocks it there from behind. So he did get a figure on it, but P.J. Tucker right there for the rebound. Pretty good defense there by the Spurs. The early bird special for the Houston Rockets Kids Club membership runs through tonight at midnight. Membership includes 2 tickets to a game, a backpack, a water bottle, socks, perks throughout the season, and more. Sign up your kid today at Rockets.com.
A water bottle and socks?
Socks.
Gotta have socks. So it's a 10-point game again. The Rockets had been down by 20.
I don't think either coach worries about the win here tonight.
Yeah, just don't get anybody hurt.
Yeah, nobody wants to get hurt, but the coaches want to just see progress on certain things that they've been working on in practice. Austin Rivers trips right there. Glad that everyone's okay.
Well, the Spurs have lost all 3 of their preseason games coming in here. They got beat by the Pelicans, they got beat by the Heat, and steamrolled by the Magic. But as we talked about earlier, Greg Popovich not playing a lot of his older veterans during the preseason. He's got to sort out his guard rotation. And this young man will definitely be there, Derek White. Nice catch by Austin Rivers.
Even though Tabo missed the 3, that was a set play coming out of the rebound off the free throw.
Damari Carroll. And did he mean to use the glass then from the corner?
He tried to bank that in.
He almost did. Eric Gordon. White. Foul called on Austin Rivers.
That's number 25, Austin Rivers. He's second.
Austin doesn't agree, but most NBA players that get called for a foul don't agree.
Of course.
I did foul one time in my career.
Wait a minute, I did all of your games. You mean one that you really thought you fouled?
One that I actually did foul.
I got you.
But I did get a lot of fouls when when Akeem actually fouled and I raised my hand and got the foul called.
You were a great team player.
Great veteran move right there.
Yes, it was.
Those fouls off of Akeem.
That's right. That's right. Nice pass. Hartenstein should have gone on up with it.
Cephalosha's a good player. He's played in a lot of different systems. He's going to fit really well here with the Rockets. He made a nice drive right there and a good pass. I know his family's excited to be here in Houston. He's been around a long time, and he's really looking forward to trying to win a championship.
Well, this is the 14th season for Cephalosha, and of course, he and Clint Capella give him a couple of players from Switzerland playing on the same team.
First time ever in NBA history.
Tyson Chandler is in his 19th season. The Rockets have Nene, who's not playing right now, in his 18th season. So there's a lot of veterans on this team. There are a lot. Pirtle with a nice move. Bellinelli with the miss. Pirtle again with the rebound. Where was Hartenstein?
Hartenstein was out on the perimeter for some reason.
Knocked out of bounds by Isaiah.
Pirtle was just putting it on the Rockets so many times that Russ decided to just foul him hard and make him go to the free throw line.
Well, that's number 5 on Westbrook. And Pirtle will shoot.
Hartenstein was behind the play, so Westbrook had to come over and take the foul, not give up the layup.
Pirtle set a franchise record last year by getting 65% field goal percentage during the regular season. That ranked inside the top 10. In playoff field goal percentage at 64%. So you see that he can operate in that paint.
They've got him listed at 7 foot 245. And remember, this year in the NBA, all heights have to be accurate.
Yeah, you noticed how a lot of guys have shrunk? You know, the rule is now that you have to do it before every season.
And without shoes on. It's just barefoot, and that's your actual height.
That's right. So what would Akeem been without shoes?
Akeem would have been the same height as me, 6'10".
Yeah.
Although Akeem was listed at 7 foot.
I asked Jim Foley one time when Akeem came from the U of H, they had him listed as 7 feet. I said, Jim, he's not really 7 feet, is he? And Jim says, I'm not shrinking him. if he came to us as a 7-footer, he's going to play as a 7-footer.
Kevin Durant grew from 6'9" to 6'11".
That's right. Nice inside defense by Houston, and Cephalosha gets it out. Austin Rivers takes a little tour. Now he's got the big guy on him, so he steps back and fires. In and out, tough luck shot. And a whistle. And an offensive foul is called inside on San Antonio. The Rockets tonight are 13 of 36. Watch it on the right side of your screen.
Austin Rivers just sets up and just embellishes a little bit of contact there against Pirtle.
Ah, come on.
I always hated those calls. Away from the play.
Eric Gordon, and Pirtle says, get that stuff out of here. He's athletic.
And he's big. We talked about being a 7-footer, and he can move his feet. He's got long arms. He's a good player.
Austin Rivers, nice drive inside, lays it up and in. Late whistle because Rivers, when he went down, and Rivers is complaining to the referee who called it. I thought Rivers did a good job of avoiding the contact, or trying to.
But you see the Spurs player outside of the restricted area, and that's pretty good charge taken right there. Rivers doesn't agree, but pretty good defense by the Spurs.
The key there is get to the spot before the player takes off.
Correct. Get your feet set, get to the spot, take the contact.
White, little fall away jumper. Derek White's able to get inside that paint area and be very active. Most of his jump shots have come right in the paint.
The Spurs had 32 points in the paint at halftime. They only have 40 here so far, so only 8 here in the second half, but they are still shooting 69% in the paint.
Going 2 for 1. Ball kicked around. San Antonio's got it. Bellinelli now will go for the final shot. Going to be a difference of about 3 seconds. Shot clock, game clock. Pirtle comes out high for the pick and roll. And White will shoot it up. 4 seconds, down to 3. And Russell will just let the clock tick off. So the kids are having fun. Rockets aren't having a lot of fun. San Antonio's having fun. 97-79 over Houston.
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
Here we go as we take a look at the score starting the fourth quarter. San Antonio up on Houston by 18 points. And Harden with 33 points in 27 minutes. He's back into the game now. Westbrook having an off night because he had 3 fouls in the first 2 minutes. Had to sit down early. Never really has been able to get into the flow of the game. And Aldridge has not missed tonight.
Mid-range specialist Aldridge.
Now Westbrook's going to run the show a little bit. And Cephalosha goes to the basket. Gets it back, puts it up and misses again. So the Rockets had 3 straight tries. And it would not go in. Pirtle battling everybody.
Notice you got Harden, Westbrook, and Gordon out there all together here to start the fourth.
Pirtle with the miss. Ball just bounces to Harden.
So the Rockets are playing without a big man. D'Antoni trying a small lineup here with a bunch of scorers.
This is his comeback team, right? Bellinelli says, I've got something to say about that. Well, what is it about guys that come into the league? They do one thing and they do it well, and he always makes that three.
Well, if you can shoot, you can play until you can't run anymore in this league.
Yeah. Murray Carroll with the miss.
Now here's a player right here, Chris Clemens, that we're all excited about.
He's not shy about shooting.
Certainly isn't.
He's got a little bit of Gerald Green in him. Gerald would come off that bench if you needed an infusion of points. Gerald would come off, and that's what Clemens does. He's not shy about shooting the ball. That's 3 seconds in the lane, and that's going to be a foul on Cephalosha.
There's Clemens right there. You can see he scored the 3rd most points in Division I history in his college career at Campbell. Also has the 5th most three-point shots made in NCAA history.
Yep.
So he can really score. And he's played well here in the preseason for the Rockets.
Yeah, I think he was a long shot to make the rotation. I think he would have made the team, but when Gerald Green went out with the injury, now he's got a chance to make the rotation.
He does.
And you'll just have to see, and it's up to him. Russell to the basket.
That was a nice move there, and he made DeMarre Carroll pay for that.
Yeah, DeMarre's had some knee problems, and he's been around on several teams. Played here with the Rockets for a while.
Had some good years up in Toronto.
Yep. Bellinelli just fires one up. Harden with the rebound off Pirtle's foot.
Kelly Johnston into the first time for San Antonio. For Patty Allen.
All right, PJ is going to check in for Tabo. So this is still a small lineup, although PJ is a little bit bigger, stronger player than Cephalosha.
Keldon Johnson has checked in for San Antonio also. Big 6'10" kid from Kentucky. Turnover Houston. Well, I guess nobody wanted to get in front of Jacob Pirtle.
Now, that was a good business decision there.
It's
Preseason, you do not want to get in front of that.
No, indeed.
Look at this, pick and roll. Clemens setting it for Harden.
Clemens has shown a little bit. He came in just shooting. Eric Gordon with the miss. But they said in in Tokyo, he showed some assist skills, passing skills. He's starting to do a little bit more in the offense. Oh, what a great move down underneath. 9-2 run by San Antonio.
Really nice pass from the big man, Hurdle.
White back into the corner, and the shot goes up, will not go down. Get out of my way.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of that this year. A rebound and an outlet to Westbrook, and Westbrook taking it all the way.
I want to see how Clemens does with these good guards for San Antonio. There's Bellinelli, and he can fill it up, can't he? Bellinelli's been doing this now this will be his 13th season. Came out of Italy. He's played on 6 different NBA teams.
Yeah, that's 13 NBA seasons, but he had several pro seasons in Europe before he even came here. Hey, there's a good 3 by Westbrook.
Yep. Westbrook now with 14 points. Bellinelli takes some crazy shots too. I mean, he's not. That's not the form you would teach a young shooter.
No, but since he's been a pro for so long, he's obviously been in the gym every single day of those 13 years and just practicing crazy shots and get better and better at it.
Yeah, Bellinelli has come off the bench with 15 points. Pirtle has 16. 13 for White off the bench. Ben McLemore will check in. Eric Gordon goes out. Samanic has come into the game for San Antonio. So he's going to keep Westbrook and Harden in, and that's by design, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely giving those guys a chance to work on their chemistry together when they're on the floor together.
How long do you think it'll take for them to get really comfortable? Hasn't bothered Harden any.
Yeah, I don't really know how long it's going to take them. I think it'll continue to get better and better the more they play. Whether it'll take a week or a month or half the season, I'm not really sure. One thing that D'Antoni has said is he does not want to change the way Harden or Westbrook plays. He wants both of them to be themselves. And of course, since James and Russ have been such good friends since they were little, they really want to make it work as well.
The problem you remember last year is the Rockets got off to a terrible start. I think, they go 4-7 out of the gate, and it was hard to recover from that, and they don't want to do that again. So I think Mike's going to play him a little more minutes here at the end of the preseason because he wants them to be ready to go. They face some good competition opening night against Milwaukee. Timeout on the court. Rockets basketball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. By Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. And by Lexus. Experience amazing. Well, we're experiencing some amazing scoring by James Harden, but that doesn't surprise you. 37 points, 11 rebounds for James. But San Antonio is shooting 58% from the field and 39% from the three-point line. And the young Spurs have put up a lot of points.
The Spurs have had a lot of openings in the paint, and that's one area that the Rockets are going to have to clean up is their rim protection. And then the Spurs have also knocked down a pretty good percentage of threes, although Patty Mills missed that one.
Good job by Mills to get back on defense. Hurdle was open for a second, but PJ did a good job of knocking it out of bounds, or Samanic. Shot up, won't go down, but again, the Spurs dominating the glass.
The Rockets playing this small lineup still. And going to definitely have to rebound a lot better than they are here tonight. And Harden hits another three. He's just an amazing player. Isn't he 40?
Yeah. Yeah, but he's got 40, but the Rockets are down by, what, 22? Oh, I love it when those big kids just step outside and hit those shots. Smanic, good young player. He's out of Croatia. All those long, skinny guys out of Croatia can shoot.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody out of Croatia couldn't shoot.
A lot of great basketball being played around the globe now. If you watch the World Cup this summer, you saw a lot of great players from different countries.
Yeah, Yugoslavia, when it was all together, those were some of the great teams of all time, and they went back to Croatia, went back to all of the different countries. And we got a timeout on the court. 4:39 left to play in this preseason game.
T-shirt time.
Well, James Harden's got 40 points here tonight. Here's three the Harden way and one down the paint. And then James Harden driving left through the crowd, getting it to finish. And then the step back three. James Harden has his inimitable, Bill.
Inimitable.
And Aldridge has had a very nice game here tonight as well. 22 points in 22 minutes for him. Nice dunk right there, showing you he's still got something left in the legs. The mid-range jumper is where he's been earning his money. And he's got a little step back in the mid-range for the and one right there as well.
Yeah, Aldridge played 22 minutes tonight, had 22 points. But it's been the guards, Forbes with 13, Murray with 20. They really did a good job, and then White coming off the bench with the 13 points. Chris Clemens up and in.
He's good, Bill.
Really? You may remember that we added him to our AT&T special there at the last minute.
We sure did, and for good reason, because
remember in Las Vegas in the summer?
Yeah.
He was fantastic.
Yeah, he led the Rockets in scoring, 21 points a game.
He can score. He got a lot of Calvin Murphy-isms.
Yeah, he sure does.
As soon as I get that ball, if I'm a rookie and I'm not going to play a lot of minutes, I'm going to shoot a lot of shots. There's another one.
Yeah, we love this guy, man. He can really shoot. Calvin Murphy's favorite player. Calvin just gives his thumbs up.
Murph will be along with Kevin Eschenfelder in our post-game show. They're standing by. But this was a game coming in here tonight where the first time the Rockets had played since coming back from Tokyo. And there's Clemens stealing the ball. Uh-oh, don't leave him alone. 3 in a row for Chris Clemens. I know Mike D'Antoni's got to love this kid. Yeah, look at Murph.
Calvin Murphy says he loves him too. He's got the right mindset is what Murph says.
Well, Clemens has scored the last 11 points by the Rockets in the last 2 minutes.
That's very Calvin Murphy-like.
Yes, it is. There's a block by Hartenstein. Up ahead. McLemore.
Rockets reserves are giving the fans something to cheer about.
Yeah, a little energy. 16-2, Rockets run. Nice move.
That's Metu, another young player for the Spurs, where they scour the globe for their players.
Clemens. He moved out about 5 more feet for that one. Patty Mills said, "Don't forget me," but he forgot to make it. 2 minutes left to play in this game. Chris Clemens said, "You're not out far enough." Garrett Clark over to House. House, Hartenstein. Well, the ball eventually got back to Clemens. He always finds a shooter. Ben McLemore for 3. And it's back to a 10-point game. Foul at the basket.
Nice move, but he took a shot to the ribs. He's realizing that the NBA is a physical league.
Get ready now for the upcoming Rockets season with the latest Rockets gear. Visit rocketshop.com to see the 3 brand new jerseys the Rockets will wear this year. Kids and women's apparel, hats, and more. RocketShop.com and the Rockets team shop at Toyota Center, your official Rockets merchandise headquarters. Now, they have a red set of jerseys, just like this one, with the block lettering. And they've got your mustard and red. And they got the black jerseys with the red numerals. Yeah, don't forget Christmas coming up. What are you going to give me?
I'm going to get you a new jersey.
Chris Clemens.
Maybe a gallon of ice cream.
I'd rather have the ice cream. And then an extra large jersey.
Yeah, you might need it.
Yes. Give me one of those that expands.
They're stretchy.
Yeah, good. Hook shot. Nice move. Shemizi Metu. Oop. Boy, there was a lady leaving the building that almost got a basketball.
A little raggedy here to finish this game.
It is. Rockets will go to 3-2 on the preseason. San Antonio will win its first preseason game, go to 1-3. And the whistle away from the ball.
Spurs foul, number 15.
So it was the first time that after coming back from the trip to Hawaii and then to Tokyo, Japan for 2 games, the Rockets have come back and look like Harden in mid-season form. Yeah, that's on our post game. I guess Kevin and Calvin are having a little of the brand over there. What's the post-game show? Jack Daniels.
Are they having a little Jack Daniels before the post-game show?
I don't know.
I think maybe they better wait till after.
Oh, that's post-game.
But they are getting all geared up, so stick with us. And you want to hear what Calvin Murphy has to say about Chris Clemens.
Oh, he'll have plenty to say about Chris. A lot of threes. Whoops. Wrong jersey. 3-on-3.
Calvin Johnson.
So it's been a good game for the San Antonio Spurs. They came in here and put it on the Houston Rockets. And they win it 128-114. Let's go to Kevin and Calvin.